December 18th, Chris Maxwell. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. Chris is a longtime pastor, 5 years with youth and 19 as a lead pastor. For the last 14 years, he has been campus pastor and director of spiritual life at Emmanuel College. He speaks in churches, conventions, and schools, and has written 9 books. On this date, in 2014, Chris appeared on Faith Talk Atlanta and told his story. It's a story that reveals why his accomplishments are so amazing. Listen to this.
The setbacks that you have in your life may be the message that you live. Be bold. 20 years ago, Chris Maxwell was at the top of his game, happy and healthy, physically and mentally. He enjoyed coaching youth league basketball and pastoring in sunny Orlando, Florida. A scholar, Chris had complete books of the Bible memorized, and he remembered the name of every person that he met. But in March of 1996, Chris got sick. He had high temperatures, headaches, and stomach pain so bad that he passed out. When his speech stopped making sense, his family rushed him to the hospital. Something was wrong. Chris said, "The doctors didn't think I would live." The diagnosis was shocking: herpes simplex encephalitis. The neurologist said an MRI of Chris's brain looked like Swiss cheese. It was severely scarred, and his left temporal lobe was permanently damaged. Epileptic seizures followed, and though they were eventually controlled with medication, Chris suffered a lot. After his discharge from the hospital, he had to have extensive rehabilitation, including 3 daily visits from a nurse and speech therapy that made him feel like a child. For 6 months, he wasn't allowed to drive. The most difficult things to cope with, however, were the invisible effects of Chris's illness. His personality, knowledge, memory, and his emotions had all changed. His wife Debbie said it was like getting to know a second husband. But Chris refused to give up. He survived and has become an advocate for people who deal with epilepsy and encephalitis. He has also published several books, only now he is more of a poet than a scholar. Chris recognizes that his difficulties and struggles actually allow him to teach and write in a way he never could have before. He relates well to the Old Testament story of Jacob in Genesis chapter 32, verses 24 through 36. It says, "So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, 'Let me go, for it is daybreak.' But Jacob replied, 'I will not go unless you bless me.'" Chris is determined to grab a hold of the blessings that come with his mental setbacks. Today, Chris sees values in each moment, in each person, in each conversation, in each breath. In his advocacy work, Chris explains that the Greek root of the word epilepsy is seized, but he adds, "Instead of being the object of seizure and being held back, I choose to be the subject, to seize the day, to seize the moment, to seize this moment." Chris has learned to slow down, to pause. It's a theme that he often writes about. He said, "Instead of doing more to impress God, how can we find him in the now? Driving down the road, eating in a restaurant, having a conversation. Where is God in the picture? God is here." Is there something in your life that's setting you back? The setbacks that you have in your life may be the message that you live. Be bold.
Hello to all my friends in 365 Christian Men. My name is Dan, and I hope you'll indulge me. I would like to start this challenge with a prayer. God, we know that you have a plan for each one of us that is unique. We know that you orchestrate the events in our lives to be unique. And we know that some of those events are just private between you and that person. They're made to increase your faith, maybe draw you closer to God, to be in a closer relationship with God, or become more Christ-like. But we also know that there are many of those events that are meant to be shared in community. We know you created us to be in relationship with you and in relationship with others. Man is not meant to be by himself. And so just like Chris Maxwell did, we ask that you help us to see the power in the moment, the power in that conversation, and the power in relating to that other person who's going through something that might be difficult, an event like we have gone through. We ask that you help us to empathetically talk with them, to listen, to understand what they're going through, and to be a light, a point of light in their life in what might otherwise be a very dark time. Something very similar to what Chris Maxwell did for people with epilepsy and epileptic seizures. God, we just ask this in your name. Amen. I believe that prayer with all my heart. We are meant to be in relationship. We're not meant to be by ourselves. And so when you are talking with someone, when God puts us in a path with someone else who's going through a difficult challenge, maybe you just need to step forward. It's not something men typically tend to do, but step forward into that conversation, and you can, if you've experienced something like it, or you can be a positive for them, just to let them know that you've experienced something like that too. It helps them to know they're not the only ones going through it. Or maybe you can help them to understand what it looks like on the other side of this challenge, to be an encouragement in that way, that it doesn't last forever. Possibly you are good at explaining things in such a way that they can not only dwell on the negatives, but they can see the positives in it. We do tend to dwell on the negatives too much. And the other option, maybe somebody, maybe it's not your personal experience, but in listening to someone, you can connect them with somebody else who's gone through something similar. So I just ask men that's the challenge, is to lean forward into that conversation, to listen closely, to be empathetic, and then to share your own personal experiences in an encouraging way. That's the challenge. I also want to pray for 365 Christian Men, and specifically the leadership. What a fabulous job they do. And in addition, to pray for 365 Christian Women, which will be coming, it is in production right now. It'll be coming out in the beginning of 2026. Check for social media. But I hope and pray that it will impact women in the same significant way that it's impacted men all through the world. Thank you.